Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I've got another Possum video here for you. This is a live stream recording from December 2017. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys for joining me for the first official live stream recording that we did in December of 2017. This was recorded while I spoke with my patron who is in the $20 bracket. And we basically spent a lot of time chatting about, he asked me a lot of great questions about my process, about writing, about how the story is kind of unfolding. And I'm going to try and share some of that stuff with you guys. It's been a while since this was recorded, obviously. So if I forget stuff, I'll just try and fill things in. But essentially this is you're watching me sketch do a sketch for the one illustration that was included in December's delivery, which if you go back and look, you'll see it there. It's in color on all tiers of the Patreon page, because I forgot to scan the black and white copy. So there you go, you get that. One thing I discovered here while I was working on this, I should note actually, my business partner was actually online as well, talking with us while I worked and recorded this. And he's an extremely talented illustrator and storyteller as well. And he gave me some good pointers while I was working on stuff. And maybe I'll point those out as we go along. One thing I realized is that pigs are kind of tough to draw. They've got these really weird bodies, and their feet are very strange as well. And I think the angle that I chose was just a little bit challenging. So you'll see me kind of rework this body of this pig to try and get it to a state that looks good. At any rate, I would like to talk a little bit about the process of writing Possum Awesome. So, as you know, the story kind of came to me over, I guess, through the course of playing around with this character in my own time outside of work. And he's just this really fun kind of possum dude who does really fun stuff. And I was originally sort of envisioning him as just an outlet for me to kind of explore some fun tropes in popular culture and have him, be a superhero or be a member of the Jedi Order, or, different things like that. And in November of, so let's go back to October of 2017. I took part in Inktober again, and through that process I really spent the whole month drawing the character, and I started to see story arcs kind of solidify, and became something that I really wanted to pursue. So in November I took the chance that I had in November to with National Novel Writing Month to work on the writing of the story, and banged out a good 50,000 words for the story. And now I'm going through the process. You're joining me on the process of continuing to write the story as it comes to me, and also refining it and delivering it to you. The process has been really fun, and the premise of it being something that's being communicated to me through interdimensional means is really great. It's giving me a lot of freedom. I am a little bit concerned about Jack. I don't know what's going on. There's some crazy stuff happening in the story, and I kind of am a little bit concerned about what's going to happen with him and his friends. At this point, I'm not entirely sure, but I do have an idea of where things might go. I know how I would like it to end, and I hope that it does end that way. And I hope that you guys join me in thinking about how it could or should go, and I'm looking forward to feedback as well on my social media and on Patreon and different things. So I'm just gonna make a note here, so you can see right now I'm just struggling to get Jack's proportions right and his body position. But one of the things that my business partner pointed out was that there's this weird tangent going on where the pig's rump kind of like mimics his Jack's spine, his twist in his body and the curve, and it becomes what we call in art, we call it a tangent. And so it kind of creates this confusion as to what's going on, because visually things are connecting. And so like if you look, the way the rump kind of curves down just below the tail, and it's hard to decide if the line of Possum Awesom's back is Possum Awesom's back, or if in fact it's the pig's rump. And so he graciously pointed out to me that I had this crazy tangent going on, and I fix it later. Part of the reason, I'll be honest, part of the reason I had that tangent there is because I was trying to hide that pig's back leg. You'll see me wrestle with that thing like crazy throughout the process. But I was trying to kind of hide it behind him. I know I should have just tried to do a good job and not be a goofball like that. But that's kind of, sometimes that's how I operate and try and get away with stuff. And I should just do it right the first time, and then it'll be good, and I don't have to worry about it. Anyways, so this process here is going to be, I'm going to hopefully have one of these every month. We're already getting into the latter part of January here, and I'm going to be going away in February. I'm heading to South America to do some humanitarian work in Bolivia. And so I'll be away. I won't be around. I'm going with a group from my church through Canadian Baptist Ministries. It's in support of the Shagus project down there. Shagus is a bug that lives in little mud huts in the countryside of South America. It comes out at night. It kind of sleeps in the nooks and crannies in the little adobe brick houses. Comes out at night and bites, and then defecates, and that causes a parasitic disease in your body, which really shortens your lifespan. It's really not, it's terrible. And so the simple solution, or one of the ways that they limit exposure, is by just finishing the interiors of the little brick houses. And we go down there and work on some houses. My church has been involved with that for 10 years, and this will be my second trip down there. I'm really looking forward to it. It's always just extremely gratifying and worthwhile time doing stuff like that. Of course, it adds extra strain on things here at home and with my business. I'm very grateful for family and for my business partner to look after things while I'm away. It's a real gift. So anyways, I'm hoping to get another of these live streams in before I leave. If I don't, then maybe I'll try and double them up next month when I'm back. It's just been a little bit hectic, I guess, trying to get things ready to go and deal with work stuff so that I'm leaving, the business in a good spot and getting this stuff done for you guys and spending time with family, and you know the drill. Anyways, so here you can see I'm taking the chance or opportunity, I guess, to adjust things, fix things, move that stuff around that my business partner was talking about in the drawing. So let me shift gears a little bit. I guess I'll talk a little bit about writing. I am admittedly I would say a junior writer. I would say I am a experienced and veteran storyteller, but when it comes to writing, I would consider myself a junior in terms of writing a lengthy piece of prose, like a novel. I have written 2 rough drafts of novels over the past 5 years. I haven't completed them yet, and so this is for me a really part of this journey is trying to get this thing to a finished state. And you guys are really helping me to achieve that. Writing has been a real joy for me. I love the process. I love thinking of the characters and the worlds that they live in. This story in particular, I'm finding the process is becoming one of sort of a what they call writing by the seat of your pants. So I would be considered a pantser. And the reason for that is because I'm essentially writing the story as it comes to me, and so I'm not doing an extensive huge outline for it. I'm just essentially writing it as it comes and thinking I have a clear idea of where I want it to go, and so whatever the characters sort of decide to do between the start and the finish is what the story will be. I am listening to a lot of learning on writing, trying to learn as much as I can. I've read several books on it. I just finished not too long ago, reading Stephen King's book on writing. I believe it's just called Writing a Memoir, and On Writing a Memoir, I think is what it's called. So, and that was a very interesting read. It really helped me learn sort of the way that he writes, and inspired me, and it's giving me some more knowledge about story structure, about character development, about plot, and all the aspects that are important to telling a good story, a story that works. The other tools and things that I've been, I guess, using around writing is I listen to a number of podcasts on writing. So there's a podcast called the Story Grid podcast, which is by a writer, and he's a writer / editor, and the podcast is quite interesting. It's an author, a struggling author, and an editor sort of talking about their process of writing a story. And I believe his name's Sean Coyne. He has a very the editor has a very stringent sort of process for editing a story to make sure that all the necessary things are in there. And I think my intention is to use that down the road as this story starts to develop further. And as I've mentioned in the past to some of my patrons and other people who've been, asking me about my Patreon page and what I'm doing with this story, really what you guys are getting in being a part of this, in partnering with me to tell this story, you're getting sort of the rough draft of the story. You're getting the first pass on it. It hasn't gone through professional editor. It goes through me, and my wife is helping me edit. But beyond that, it's pretty raw. And so there will be times when certain stuff will struggle to come together smoothly. There will be times when maybe some things are confusing. And I'm kind of relying in some ways on you guys. You're sort of my beta readers, and what you give me as feedback and stuff will help me decide how I'm going to move the story forward, or how I'm going to edit it, or what might need to be done to it. I'm fully aware that down the road, if I, like when this is complete, if I take it to a publisher and they choose to pick it up, that it'll go through another editing pass, and parts of the story, aspects of it will change or will have to change. And that's completely fine, and I'm aware of that, and I'm comfortable with that part of the process, or that reality, I guess. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, yeah, I'm a learning writer, but I am working hard at it, and I'm really enjoying it. I actually have fantasized about going back to school and taking creative writing and just learning how to write really, really well and becoming a professional writer. It's just a really enjoyable means by which to tell a story. It's quick and efficient. I feel as though I can get a lot of story in a quicker amount of time than I'm accustomed to. For me, doing the type of illustration that I do in my personal time, some of it takes quite a bit of time, and I could see having to tell a story of this length and breadth with images as being quite daunting for me. I've had people ask me why I don't turn it into a graphic novel. In fact, my daughter is she was like, I don't know, just indignant about the fact that this wasn't going to be a graphic novel, that it's sort of, I'm doing it in the format that I'm doing. She just wasn't keen on that. She wishes it was a graphic novel. And I think that's really great. And I do think that the style and stuff would be really fun to see in a graphic novel format. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what it ends up being ultimately. Maybe down the road, once the story is completed, I end up adapting it into a graphic novel format and doing a lot more drawing. I don't know. I'm not crossing that bridge yet. Right now, I'm focusing on writing it and writing it well as I can. And so I am applying everything that I'm learning, and I'm doing the best that I can to tell a really rich story. One of the tendencies that I've discovered about myself with writing is that I like words a lot. And so going through the editing process, I'm doing a lot of hacking and slashing to try and pare this thing down to a reasonable length, and just trying to take out the fluff to get to the meat of the story. So that's something that I'm endeavoring to do and working hard at doing well, because my tendencies are sort of against that. My natural tendency is to describe everything down to its minutia, and and nobody really wants to read, a 5-sentence paragraph on how the leaves crackle underneath the foot of a character that's moving through a forest, right? It's just excessive, but I love it. And it's kind of actually funny because I used to do a lot of photography. I took photography in college and university, and one of the types of photography that I absolutely loved, and I always wish I had it, but I didn't. I wish I had a macro lens so I could take photos of really, really fine, small details of things. So like zoom in real close and get textures and stuff of objects in my photographs. I had an 18 millimeter, I think it was an 18 millimeter to a 80 or 50 millimeter, I don't remember, but it took pretty good close-up pictures. Being 18 millimeter was pretty decent. But yeah, I think that tendency is something that resides inside me, to sort of want to see the fine details of things and really get in close and examine stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why this story is freeing for me, because it's coming as it comes. I don't have all of that planned. It's sort of a joy to sit down and imagine and have my imagination go with what I'm sort of being told from Jack, and those things sort of coming forth as they come. Yeah, it's just been a really great process and an enjoyable process. I'm also excited, I guess, about I really hope that you guys are enjoying the story. I haven't had a lot of feedback from readers on the actual story itself. If you have feedback for me, I would really appreciate it. I'm always looking for that, and I'm always open to that. And I don't want you to feel shy about throwing stuff at me or bugging me about stuff. I think I'm getting close to the end of the video here. I don't want it to go on too long. I don't really know how much more I have to share about this process. This video, or this sketch, I then took and I did essentially a light table drawing of it. I put it against a window and then put my page over top of the printed sketch. I just printed it out on my LaserJet, and then I inked it and colored it with traditional media. So I ended up doing, of course I finished the project analog on paper with my materials. Been using ink, India ink, and watercolors and Prismacolor felts, which has been a really fun process for me. It's very much like painting. I was surprised that at the felts, I've only been using them for about a year now. I was surprised at how painterly I can be with them. I'm sort of naturally more of a painter, and I've just been really enjoying the feel of those. And so I can potentially talk more about my process if you guys are interested down the road. I also use a little bit of gouache on top of everything, which is just sort of a more opaque version of a watercolor. Yeah, I don't know. I really would like you guys to throw questions at me. It would help me with doing these videos. I'd like to know what you'd like to know about, and then I can sort of throw some of that content on these. I can give you some maybe something that you would enjoy listening to. So I want to say thank you. I want to express my deep appreciation for you partnering with me, and I'm just super grateful and really enjoy doing this, and hope that you guys are enjoying the process too, and I look forward to sharing more with you as it comes. Chapter 3 and 4 are just about finished editing, and I'll be putting those up before I jet to South America, so you'll be able to get the next sort of reading, and I'll likely be working on the next chapters over my flight while I'm traveling. It's about a 24-hour trip to get down to where we're going, so I'll have some time on the plane and whatnot to do a little bit of typing. So that's my plan. And until next time, you guys, I hope that you're enjoying the content, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of January, and I look forward to touching base with you again soon. Thanks so much for everything, and we will keep forging ahead. All right, take care. Thanks for checking out this video, you guys. I will be doing more Possum Awesome videos in the future. Until then, thank you so much for partnering with me. The story's coming along great. I'm really enjoying the process. And I look forward to sharing more of this journey with you guys. So I will check in with you next time. See ya.